Part 89. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Xiao. Chapter 911. Naturally, not everything about the first park tour was perfect. More or less, in some places, since most of the workers here are wandering elves, they have a certain fear of strange humans when they encounter tourists and some powerful elves around them. This fear is accumulated bit by bit in daily life, especially little Ratha. When crossing the street, everyone shouts about Rattata. Although Rattata are also elves in the elf world that can be captured, trained, and evolved, only the lowest trainers will choose Rattatas as their initial elves. At the same time, in the city among them, people's inherent prejudices also caused the current situation to occur. If you want them to change themselves in an instant and no longer be afraid when facing humans, this is a long-term recovery process. Even if Yang Yu brings his students and these friends from China together as the first batch of guests to visit the park, and prepares the wandering elves in various projects in the park in advance, although with repeated experiments, these little elves the elves are all doing better, but the usual training and the actual situation are very different. Plus, the number of people entering the park was countless times greater than during the previous training. The pressure naturally multiplies. Lotta. During an acrobatic performance in a park, Rattata made a huge mistake, an embarrassing scene, and everyone laughed, leaving Rattata stunned for a while, a little at a loss. In fact, the tourists' laughter is not malicious. After all, the experience in the park is quite good, and occasionally seeing a small flaw is nothing. Especially in the process of pleasing Walking Grass to make Walking Grass feel happy, this feeling of interacting with the wandering elves in the city that they once ignored can bring the slightest comfort to the soul. Although there is no redemption, at least it will be a great feeling to be able to see your own Walking Grass smiling happier than other people's Walking Grass. However, such inadvertent laughter will still bring huge pressure to Rattata. At this time, the Walking Grass that follows the tourists will stand out. They stepped forward one by one, and some even jumped down from the shoulders of tourists and strode towards the little Rata. We are all elves living in this world. We help each other and are the fulcrum for each other to continue to survive. When encountering such difficulties, if you fall, you can pick yourself up and continue. There was even a little girl who went to see Rata along with Lulu Cao, a very young girl in the family who had not even had her teeth yet. Such a scene not only touches adults, but also brings a kind of warmth from the elf world to Rattata and Walking Grass. The future of this world, with these children, at least in the future, still has great hope. Little Lotta wiped the sweat from his forehead. The wounds and burning pain that appeared on the joints of his limbs due to the collision with the ground could heal his inner soul in such an atmosphere at this moment. Brother, they are so friendly and united. Yang Xiao and Yang Yu came to the outside of the crowd at this time. Among the crowd were students and tourists from China. While looking at Yang Yu with excited eyes, their voices were stumbling even when explaining. In this regard, Yang Yu was helpless and could only pat the young man on the shoulder, telling him not to be so excited and to slow down. With the help of the walkers and the little girl, Rattata regained the confidence to stand up and continue to complete the performance. With the last finishing move, the slightly clumsy performance came to a complete end. Thunderous applause and cheers sounded here. Not only for Rattata, but also for these Walking Grasses, and for the brave little girl next to the Walking Grasses. The little girl who stood up in public, perhaps, this is what a little hero looks like. Under the praise of this child's parents, the little girl smiled shyly. When she returned to her parents with her Walking Grass, the smile on the Walking Grass's face had reached the peak of her joy. The world needs more heroes like this little girl. Naturally, Yang Yu, Yang Xiao and Beihuing would not be stingy with their applause. Feeling pleased, Beihuing proposed to give the family some small benefits in the park. At this point, Yang Yu naturally would not refuse, and Lily Ying's proposal was very good. In Dayday, the appearance of this little girl was transmitted to the computer terminal of the Regirock Intelligent Core through superpower. Under the overall arrangement of the Regirock Intelligent Core, some small conveniences were soon available in the park reflected in various projects. For example, if you give a small badge, you can get customized delicacies from 3-star Chef Dayday in Chef Dayapo's food court. Of course, you can also get customized commemorative shirts from Dayday Wang Mili clothing store in the park. These are not presented in public, but inadvertently and artificially, to increase the lucky value of this family of tourists, and the explosion rate of each level in the park is naturally increased. For Yang Yu, this is just a small gift. Apart from this small episode, the most difficult part is the haunted house in the park. The ghost elves in the back streets all have treacherous intentions but no courage. They seem quite scary, but when it comes to the actual combat with real guns and live ammunition, they are all too cowardly to be scared. If you hit someone, you may even be scared by them. But the final result was that these tourists went in fearfully one by one, and then came out laughing. This is too difficult for ghost elves. For this reason, the little dream demon specially took the magic wand and volunteered to lead Mimi Kyokyu to let these tourists see what real fear is in this haunted house. But this dangerous idea was finally stopped by Yang Yu. Perhaps this will become a feature of the park in the future? Let it go. Maybe some children stay in the haunted house and refuse to come out, and do mischief with these ghost elves? It seems pretty good. Wow, this one sheep, two sheep, a group of sheep, is this still the slow Maley sheep? It runs so fast, how can it be possible to judge which sheep is more powerful? How can this become a game of luck? Nashir was dumbfounded. Speaking of which, this project is a bit like horse racing. It just turned the elf flame horse into a bleak sheep. To be honest, the children of these big families have quite a lot of experience in horse racing. After all, it is not difficult for them to obtain flame horses. They also have professional horse trainers at home, so they are not interested in such a project. Not unfamiliar. But when the flaming horse turns into a bleak sheep, it's completely different. Especially when they discovered that these special sheep were completely different from what they had in mind. They were running so fast. Wow, they looked like bison. Otherwise, do you think the Boston Elf Alliance will finally choose the side of Chinese trainer Yang Yu? Kelly licked her red lips. These bleak sheep, in her eyes, have become the top priority. Heavy elf resources. Sister, I remember that Wu Yuqin from China has business dealings with our family, right? No, it's not just our family, there are also some in other Xiao Baiji's families. However, this is the first time when it comes to the elf resource of Maley sheep. These Maley sheep feel like those of the #1 ranch in North America. Li Yang may be slightly worse than these. This is a whole flock of sheep, not just a few bleak sheep. No wonder. At this moment, Kelly's eyes lit up and she waved, "Okay, stop looking and come with me to claim your prize." Redeem the prize? What prize? Nashir looked confused. Just watch Kelly raise the ticket in her hand. Could it be? Good-looking people don't have bad luck. In 10 games, they all get it right. Nashir. I'd better just be soft-boiled. Sister, take me away. In this park full of laughter, time passes much faster than imagined. The sun sets relatively late in the summer, but the moon can already be seen in the sky. All the tourists in the park have begun to look forward to it. This day's trip brought them too many surprises, and now the most important part is coming soon. Waiting for nightfall. Come. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 912. Sister, are we really here to listen to the elf concert? Shut up, don't ask me, I was so busy having fun that I forgot what I was doing here. Sister, what are we doing here? I'm afraid the air will suddenly become quiet. Kelly was silent for a while. It's okay, we've finished playing now, and we can have dinner at the Dahama Food Street soon. We went to the central tower of the park to find the Chinese trainer Yang Yu, but he was not there. So, let's go to the food court. It settled happily. What surprised Kelly the most in this park was that during the whole trip, they didn't feel how fast time passed at all. It wasn't until the outline of the full moon was visible in the sky that they realized it later. It turns out that it's already evening. For Kelly's walking grass, this day also passed very quickly. In the past, it might have endured the torment of the passage of time, because only at night could it have a short period of freedom. Because it's late at night and quiet. The situation now is completely different. When walking around following tourists, be very careful. Because they know their stage is coming soon. I don't know what kind of form this concert will take in the end. I don't seem to see that kind of professional concert stage in the park, Kelly said casually. Sister, I think it might be placed in the artificial lake in the park just like it caused a sensation in Boston before. That scene will definitely happen again, Nasher said with a very confident tone. It makes sense. In that case, let's look forward to it. At least today is more fun than I imagined. I'm really looking forward to it. Kelly sighed from the bottom of her heart. If the time hadn't come yet, she really wanted to go to the Chinese trainer Yang Yu and ask him in person whether this place looked like there was going to be a concert. Kelly's thoughts are almost the same as those of most tourists. It was only when a bright full moon gradually rose above the treetops that I realized that it seemed, the most important part of this garden tour had not yet arrived. However, being able to spend a whole day here on a day off, whether it is entertainment experience or food experience, is really a great experience. It would be great if there was a hotel near here. Tomorrow, it seems like we can have another day of fun. Not to mention children, even adults can feel at ease in this garden. Millie, how are the lights here prepared? Before the unveiling of this most important stage, Yang Yu and his team were urgently conducting one last inspection. Don't worry, with Millie here, nothing will go wrong here. Today's Ishihara Miku is also dressed in a fancy dress, but the difference from the previous one in the Sakura Dojo is that today's appearance is not a menace, but a beautiful flower. The hairstyle of the two small balls on the left and right is exquisitely tied up. In the headdress of a circle of red flowers, there is also a light yellow hairband, which tightly wraps the two small balls. Wearing a beautiful floral tube top dress with green and yellow intertwined on her body, her graceful figure is already as beautiful as a real elf even before she stretches out. It must be said that the combination of gorgeous contest master Ishihara Miku and stupid Wang Millie is outstanding in terms of clothing and aesthetics. In the world, there are very few other combinations of trainers and elves that can compare with it. Then please come this way. Yang Yu took a deep breath. Ishihara Miku's height in dancing shoes could still put a lot of pressure on him. Remember, don't forget your promise, you stingy guy, Ishihara Miju gave two hygiene balls angrily. I could take photos with Minas before, but now I have to take photos with Yang Yu instead. However, this is not the first time that Ishihara Miku feels that Yang Yu is shameless. In short, just get used to it. For the sake of this happy elf paradise, Ishihara Miju stopped arguing with Yang Yu. The beauty of the appearance is only short-lived after all. Only the sublimation of inner beauty can be spread in the elf world. At this point, Ishihara Miku had to admit that Yang Yu was already qualified to become a world-class gorgeous contest master. Grateful. Yang Yu did not continue to say anything, but rushed to the next venue. Yeah. Before leaving, Dede used his superpower to draw a big heart on Dede Wang Millie. When the big heart exuding purple was pushed in the direction of Dede Wang Millie covered her face in a rare way. Yeah, boom. Yang Yu and Ishihara Miku were caught off guard by this wave of operational performance, but on this night of the full moon itself symbolizes reunion. Although it is not the Mid-Autumn Festival, it is still beautiful at this moment. Senior Brother Qian, can the power supply here at Male Yang be completely guaranteed? Don't worry, during the whole day today, the Male sheep have already collected a lot of electricity when they were racing. The power of 500 Male sheep is enough to last 2 days here. Wu Yuqian stretched out his hand and said okay. Even if there is insufficient power, they still have follow-up preparations. The electric elves from the students of the Chinese Elf University, whether they are elite or advanced, are already here. This time, Yang Yu is not the only one fighting. Young trainers from all over China and from all over China are now ready in various areas of the park. Wang Xiali, how is the stage situation in the Magi Carp Artificial Lake area? Report to Mr. Yang Yu, the stage here has been safely accepted by the Carp King Army. The lifting platform is controlled by Gyarados. There are waterproof neon lights around the lifting platform. At the same time, the light can also be dimmed using the reflection of external lights. Here are with the protection and cooperation of the 2 gym-level gardevoirs, everything is ready. One of them is gardevoir from Wang Kai's Hu, and the other one is naturally Miku Ishihara's gardevoir. In a little while, Ishihara Miku's performance will also be held in the artificial lake area, and she will perform cooperatively with her gardevoir, and the cooperation will naturally be perfect. Now, all deployments are ready. Brother, Jigglypuff's show will begin later. Yang Xiao, who followed Yang Yu to and from various venues, felt that he was even more nervous and excited, especially when he felt that Brother Yang Yu controlled every part of the entire park here. The momentum and demeanor of guiding Zhongshan made Yang Xiao feel extremely proud. This is my Yang Xiao's Yang Yuj. Hearing the excitement in Yang Xiao's voice, Yang Yu nodded happily. That's right, the first scene next is Jigglypuff's opening theme song. The place where Yang Yu and Yang Xiao are going now is the last quiet soundproof room. Bubba Mile. Q. At this moment, the elves who saw Yang Yu returning in the room gathered over one after another. Bola. Jigglypuff, who was in front of the mirror in the room, slowly turned around at this time. The very nervous emotions in my heart immediately dissipated after seeing Yang Yu. Jigglypuff's backbone is here. Yang Yu. Not long after Yang Yu arrived here, several wanderers appeared at the door. At the same time, the cat boss and his bandmates also came to Jigglypuff one after another. Ram. Yang Yu and Wanderer Ram clapped their hands together. At this time, Ram will naturally not be dressed as a wanderer, but will play the same role as Elvis Presley in Pirates of the Caribbean. He is the captain of the pirate ship project. However, the current pirate ship project is only a very simple facility. Now that the construction plan for the future amusement park is ready to proceed, in the future, Wanderer Ram and his fellow wanderers will become the real captain and crew. Those homeless people from other neighborhoods who had boarded the boat were extremely grateful that they had made the right decision, but those who directly refused or even drove them away. Now that this big ship has gradually stabilized, how can it be possible to board it just as long as it wants? Rome knew this very well. Now the source of all this is the Chinese trainer in front of me. Thank you for coming and cheering for Jigglypuff. This is as it should be, and we should even thank you for giving us such an incredible opportunity. The cat boss and his band members officially got a name, the Pirate Ship Band. For this meaningful job, Cat Boss is extremely happy. Now, when Jigglypuff is about to go on stage to sing, he also hopes that Jigglypuff can completely let go. As big as the heart is, the stage is as big as it is. Meow meow meow. The cat boss rarely used a series of actions to ease the tension in Jigglypuff's heart. However, the cat boss, who was wearing a black eye patch, acted more like a big boss. But for Jigglypuff, no matter how Big Cat changes his costume, his influence on Jigglypuff on this musical path is very, very huge. Finally, the cat boss gently patted Jigglypuff's head. Being able to follow this amazing trainer, his stage is destined to be very big. Then feel free and bold to exert all your strength and sing. Bola. Jigglypuff nodded very vigorously. The microphone in his hand was tightened more and more tightly. The concert stage is a real battlefield for Jigglypuff. It seems, our Jigglypuff is basically ready. Yang Yu felt Fatty's increasingly sharp gaze. He bulged his mouth and was angry, and his body was slightly swollen due to the blocked air. The movement of this sign means that Jigglypuff is about to use his big move. Booby-Boo-Mile. Q. Little Dream Demon and other elves will become Jigglypuff's most loyal audience off the stage. The magic fairy glow stick is sure to be swung. Jiggy Ding, let's go. There are still 10 minutes left before the concert starts. In the water area in the middle of the lake on the central stage of the concert, a relatively small number of tourists have gathered here. In addition to the family of the little girl who helped Ratata before, there are also some tourists who have performed extremely well in taking care of the walking grass and participating in the entertainment projects in the park at this time. They have all arrived at the best place. The Carp King Artificial Lake Water Tourist Area. Sister, this place is absolutely amazing. It was the first time for Nashir to ride an elf like Magi Carp. Of course, there was more than one Magi Carp. Under his seat, there were many Magi Carp. In short, it was incredibly magical. Otherwise, what do you think? I am even more curious about the miraculous giant Gyarados. During the battle with King Dwight, it was a scarlet-colored giant Gyarados. According to our common sense, this should be a heterochromatic form. But, this Gyarados has no obvious evil power, and it does not belong to the category of normal super evolution. This is what really puzzles me. Kelly's eyes flickered. Being able to guide and command the Magi Carp swarm to form a large army, Nashir, don't you think that giant Gyarados is very Chinese style? Although it is not a dragon elf, it has the mark of an unusual dragon on its body. Not far from the best auditorium, several people with very special identities also came to the park. 18 gym leaders in North America. In the end, only 17 people came in. It's a bit ironic that the evil gym leader can't even enter the park's gate. However, of the 17 gym leaders who finally came in, only 6 gym leaders were able to get a slightly better viewing position. In comparison, the worst one was the super gym leader Aizen. I can barely walk in the middle between leaving the park and staying in the park. Just stay here, you angry yuppie. It's so embarrassing to just leave in anger. This made me even more angry. In order to stay in this park, Aizen also worked hard. Although there was no way to make Lulu Cao feel the best, but Aizen still maintained his qualification to stay in the garden. It's even harder than raising your own children. However, Aizen felt that this place was good for some reason, and he would find an opportunity to take his children here in the future. I want to take a closer look at what this concert will be like. As everyone knows, Aizen's words were heard by the walking grass next to him, and the walking grass bit his lip. It can definitely prove it to this tourist with its friends. Bang! A brightly lit 10 fireworks appeared in the sky. This is the scene after the electromagnetic popping candy ejects from the mouth of Salted Fish King and explodes in the air. This fireworks also means the countdown to the concert begins. Bang! This is 9, 8, 7. All the tourists followed the numbers in the sky and began to count down loudly. The last firework finally took off. Under the moonlit summer night, the sky suddenly became bright. Just when everyone's eyes narrowed slightly and the light began to shrink. In the light, a spherical elf walked out. At this time, Jigglypuff appears, bathed in light. Jiggy Ding! Welcome to Jigglypuff's music realm. Welcome. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 913. Roar. The light gradually dimmed, and the moonlight seemed to be covered with the patina of an ancient bronze bell. The low roar was like the whisper of an ancient god. A desolate wind began to blow in the sky. Feeling such an atmosphere, everyone couldn't help but feel their hearts sinking. Faintly scattered fallen leaves floated between the heaven and the earth. The salty fish king controls the background sound effects, the stupid king Millie controls the lighting, Bai Diao controls the wind in the environment, and the tropical dragon uses the leaves on its back to scatter dead branches in the dark night. At this moment, the entire paradise seemed to be instantly rendered into a desolate ancient place. Welcome to the wild, no heroes and villains. Bot, 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 blot, blot, blot. Welcome, to this wilderness where there is no distinction between good and evil. A low voice sounded here. Everyone's hearts couldn't help but tremble. The sound is present. It was as if they were really taken into an unknown wilderness. Thumping. Thumping. Everyone seemed to be able to feel the heavy heartbeat in their hearts. Whose voice is this? The singing voices of Jigglypuff and the singer, they match so well. Jiggy Ding is the real protagonist, and the female singer behind it has not yet appeared. Hiss, this is a song I've never heard before. I have a hunch that this opening will detonate the whole of Boston and the elf music scene in the entire North America. There were only whispers, and even the next second after these voices appeared, everything came to an abrupt end. Where the light was focused, Jigglypuff was holding the microphone tightly, and his faintly hoarse singing voice added a sense of desolation to the space at this moment. However, in this seemingly depressing singing, as the light projection rapidly expands to the sky, using the night scene as the canopy, everyone can see. Jigglypuff, who was magnified several times, waved his microphone towards the sky. Welcome to the war, we've only begun, so pick up your weapon and face it. Welcome to join this war that has just begun, take up arms and face it. The top of Jigglypuff's microphone is like a pearl. Under the moonlight, the light is shining. At this moment, it is showering and scattering in all directions like stars. At the end of this lyric, the previous depression in the air seems to have gradually begun to gather. Even the children can vaguely guess. When depression reaches the critical point, hysteria breaks out. Exciting music, always. There's blood on the crown, go and take it. Bow, bang, bang, bang. Jigglypuff once again brought the microphone to his mouth, and clenched his outstretched right hand into a fist. A crown condensed from the sky. The power of the super energy system makes the appearance of this crown look illusory, appearing in front of Jigglypuff, in the sights of all the tourists, and in the eyes of the wandering elves. Reach out and put it on. That's all it takes to crown yourself with a crown, and stretch out your hand. Come on, Jigglypuff. Following the rhythm of the music, and following the movements of Jigglypuff on the stage, everyone's hearts and minds were affected at this moment, affecting their every nerve. This is the power of music. The moves performed by the elves and the special effects created by the concert are truly a magnificent and extremely beautiful experience. Kelly looked up at the sky. From this optimal position, she could even feel the power hidden in the deepest part of the music. That power, following the melody, was getting closer and closer to the most melodic peak. Sister, what kind of song is this? Why haven't I heard it before? Nashir murmured in a very soft voice. Looking at Jigglypuff on the stage in mid-air, Nashir was even more surprised. Jigglypuff in the elf world. Shouldn't we take the sweet singing path of gentleness and tenderness? This Jigglypuff. Nashir's face changed slightly. This is a Jigglypuff who was born with a defect. If this was a normal Jigglypuff, the song he sang would never be filled with endless power due to hoarseness. But it is precisely because of This natural flaw that Jigglypuff showed another trait. The beauty of roads. This Chinese trainer Yang Yu is a top breeder. Faced with Nasher's exclamation, Kelly rubbed the corners of her eyes helplessly. Oh, my stupid brother. The super huge Gyarados has already proved this conclusion. Now, he himself is the creator of miracles. Kelly has never been so curious about a trainer, and now, her heart is moved. We are about to come to the most critical part. This song is enough to open the avenue of stars for this Jigglypuff in the world's elf music scene. I really didn't expect, that Jigglypuff could really succeed. This concert can not only be seen in person. In the Fairy Gym of China, at this moment, connected through super powerful network technology, all the resident trainers and fairies in the gym are sitting in front of a huge screen at this moment. Listen to the singing of this unique Jigglypuff. It really has the right trainer, a trainer who can pamper it. It's really great. Trainer Yan 11 was holding a baby in her arms at the moment. Her excitement made her eyes twitch slightly. Some are red. Bow, bang, bang. Bola. In front of the screen, these Jigglypuffs looked at their little friends who could sing loudly on such a huge stage. Their eyes were full of envy, but they were still sincerely happy. After all, this Jigglypuff is their little friend. Today's young people are becoming more and more good at playing. Yan, the leader of the fairy gym, was also watching this open-air concert of fairies in the gym, and there was something indescribably weird in her words. It wasn't that I agreed at the time to go to a concert in North America, but later it gradually turned into attending a concert in North America, and in the end. Why did you decide to hold a large-scale concert by yourself? A man's mouth is a liar, ha. But there were countless emotions between Yan's stretched eyebrows. Good boy, you did a great job. In the next second, a loud bang came from the screen as the melody gradually condensed to a peak, completely detonating the entire fairy gym. The owner of the hall, Yan, was so frightened that her whole body trembled. There was an earthquake in the gym. On the stage, Jigglypuff took a deep breath to adjust his inner nervousness as he sang loudly. It was really tense. Even at the beginning, looking at the gradually rising stage, it had a dizzy feeling. I was afraid that I would fall off the stage. However, Jigglypuff closed his eyes while adjusting. The first scene that flashed through his mind was the scene of his life in the fairy gym. It's actually very nice there, really nice. The resident trainer there plays with them every day and trains various moves with them. For Jigglypuff, the happiest time is probably the time when he sings. However, the defect of its natural vocal cords made this happy time completely disappear from its sight. When Jigglypuff started singing for the first time, he felt the very surprised looks from his friends. Later, when Jigglypuff quietly hid in the corner and sang hard with his hoarse throat, he discovered. My own voice seemed to be that bad. However, who is willing to accept this reality? However, this reality is often more cruel. Jigglypuff closed himself, closed his voice, became taciturn, closed his heart, and became unwilling to communicate with his friends, even if resident trainers and friends will come to take care of it. It really wants to sing, really wants to sing. But, how can such a road be passed through? Jigglypuff wanted to change his life, but he suffered a lot in life. All this until his appearance. You get one shot to make it out alive, so higher and higher you chase it. You only have one chance to survive, so climb it and chase it. The gradually getting louder music brought Jigglypuff out of his thoughts and back to reality. Everything it can have now comes from that trainer. It is now able to sing loudly on this stage and let its hoarse voice sing to so many audiences, all because of the help of that trainer. It now has held its own microphone, and the microphone, to Jigglypuff, is no less than his own life. Bowling. Jigglypuff slowly opened his eyes. This pair of eyes seemed to open out of the darkness with a gleam of light, and they had their own understanding. At this moment, Jigglypuff's understanding seemed to fit perfectly with the lyrics of this song. The eyes that shone like gems were quietly covered with crystal tears at this moment. These are diamond-like tears, Jigglypuff's greatest understanding of the word hope. What is hope? Hope is the most precious thing Jigglypuff has under his naturally flawed singing voice. Bola. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. Go get back the glory buried deep in your bones. The glory of Jigglypuff is the glory of singing. I once thought that I might only be able to sing a defective song to myself, that I would never have the chance to sing to others again, and I once wanted to let it all go, but singing has been integrated into Jigglypuff's life. This is the talent of the Jigglypuff clan. Does it mean that you can just let it go? Jigglypuff's vibrato caused goosebumps on countless listeners in this venue. This tremor trembled into their hearts, as if in this trembling hoarse voice, these listeners understood even more, that it was not easy for Jigglypuff. Dad, this Jigglypuff sings very well. Yes, listen, this Jigglypuff's throat is a little hoarse. It is born with defects, but the songs it sings can inspire people and uplift the hearts of these little elves, you said, it is, isn't it great? Yeah, it's really awesome. The little boy raised his head, and with his bright eyes, he firmly remembered the scene in front of him in his heart. At this moment, the little boy discovered that the walking grass he was holding in his arms broke away from his arms and jumped to the ground. Just when the little boy was a little surprised. This bouncing walking grass seems to be accumulating an incredible life force. What's this? The atmosphere is about to gather and reach its climax, and the whole song has reached the most critical part, where all the power of the whole body needs to be released wantonly. This is your moment, now is your time, so. This is your moment. Prove yourself and prove yourself. The sky roared like thunder. Boo! Rise! Rise! The background of the sky suddenly changed. The radiant stage, at this moment, completely illuminates the entire lake. Roar! A huge blue figure rose into the air from the water. In this extremely exciting music, King Salted Fish felt an unstoppable force coming from his body. At this moment, it exploded. This is different from the previous anger power and evil power. This is the purest life force driven by music. What? Kelly Adams. This outstanding member from a family with hundreds of years of history in North America, at this moment, his mind felt the explosion in the air. Oh my God! Nashir hugged his head in an instant. Not just the appearance of a giant Gyarados. Above the sky, in the lake that was boiling at this moment, an extremely beautiful figure rose into the sky. Yes. Minas. The explosion of the giant Gyarados made a shining appearance. This body of dazzling tight scales and extremely violent and huge body flashed in the audience, which was so dazzling that it made people's blood boil. The beautiful Minas danced enchantingly into the sky, with a coquettish tail, an open scaly fantail, and a pair of eyes hidden in the darkness. This one look is enough to be remembered for a lifetime. There were walking grass, Ratata, and wandering elves all over the place. Jump high into the sky. Just when everyone has not yet fully woken up from the shock. Make em remember you. The English singer behind the scenes finally appears. Accompanied by the figure of Gardevoir slowly appearing, this exquisite and beautiful flower dress is none other than Miku Ishihara, the master of the Sakura Country Beauty Contest. Let them all remember you. The next line of the lyrics not only causes goosebumps among the tourists, but it touches their hearts and their boiling blood, and together. Rise. Push through hell and rise. Rise. The boiling Magikarp artificial lake. One after another, Magikarp quickly jumped towards the sky. Here, there is their king. Under Jigglypuff's singing, the power of life is suddenly ignited at this moment. The lights are interlaced, turning the entire amusement park area into a huge and perfect stage in an instant. Jigglypuff's mind. He has regarded this entire area as his own stage. Bola. In Jigglypuff's BGM. Let's get excited together. As big as the heart is, so is the stage. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 914. Look, the silvery light emitting from these walking plants is so beautiful. Is this the evolution of walking grass? No, it's not. These are walking grass seeds that can be blown away by the wind like dandelions. These seeds are very small, but now under the moonlight, it's like. The speaker's voice was stunned here. Because a little bit of light shines on the body of the walking grass. If it were just a walking grass, perhaps these lights would not be enough to attract people's attention. But how many walking grasses are there in the entire park? This quantity. It's extremely terrifying. Even though not all walking grasses can produce seeds that can be spread, there are still countless tiny seeds floating in the air with this gust of wind. In the sky, there seems to be a silvery flowing river. This river carries the hope of the future of the walking grass. This river is the river of life for the future walking grass. These walking grasses that have been wandering around the neighborhood for a long time do not have a good area to spread their seeds. They know it very well. If the seeds are sown in a neighborhood with the same living environment as them, whether these seeds can grow is a very serious problem. More importantly, once they grow and become walking grass. But there is another tragedy in the world of wandering elves. These seeds are equivalent to the children of walking grass. They themselves are already living in the city and have suffered all the hardships of life. How can they bear to see the seeds spread and wander with them in the city? Some people say that it would be better to take them back to nature. Too many people say this, but who does it? There is more than just one backstreet neighborhood in the entire city where homeless people and wandering elves gather. There are many more. Precisely because they are wandering elves, they understand how hard won the joy of survival is, and they understand how to cherish opportunities like this. Let some tiny seeds float with the wind as far as possible in this suburban area, as far as possible. Never come to the city again. 10 million. This is your moment, take to the skies, go. For the walking grass, it is not their dream to soar into the sky, but let these seeds of hope blow as far and as high as possible. They jump higher and higher in the field, jump higher and higher. Even though I know that doing this will not really make these tiny seeds fly higher and farther, but this will give them peace of mind. Prove yourself and rise. Rise. The whole audience was in a state of carnival. Even if they didn't understand what the other lyrics actually said, it didn't matter. Because at this moment, all you need to do is follow the music and yell out that word. Roar. The whispers of the ancient gods are no longer sleeping in this desolate land, but they are completely awakening from their slumber. The Carp King army, in this lake, used water splashing to jump again and again, using this most inconspicuous move in the elf world, to release their life force. Every splashing jump is for the next splashing jump, to jump higher and get closer to the sky. Jigglypuff feels the movements of all the elves around him. This is a response to the song of his music, and it is also the best response. The microphone that Jigglypuff is holding firmly is Jigglypuff's exclusive weapon. Only Jigglypuff can use the most confident singing voice to sing the most moving songs with a hoarse voice. This is a hymn to life. Bola. When the last accent brings a strong end to the whole song, the superpower seems to cut off the surroundings. It has such a momentary effect, as if in this moment, time and space are frozen. All the sounds disappeared completely. A sudden illusion, just after this moment, the sudden stagnation caused the Carp King, who jumped up one after another in the lake, to be confused in the sky for a moment. The music stopped. So what do we do? Rise. Rise. Of course, there are also tourists from the park. Although the music has stopped, the blood boiling they caused in this rhythm and melody has not stopped yet. Even those who have never been to a concert can find hearty pleasure here. The sound is still echoing in their ears. It is really difficult to control themselves and they still can't help but shout a few words. Spotlight, focus again. However, there seemed to be a slight accident somewhere, and the focused light seemed to be blocked by a red figure. Those slightly dull eyes, 2 long beards, and the golden crown. This carp blinked. Such a situation, it has never seen it before. In this case. Then give everyone a salute. Omega asterisk. It seems like there was a little accident somewhere. The red scales on this carp king irregularly appeared with a bright blue light. This light was completely different from the starlight radiating from the walking grass. This is the true light of evolution. It is different from walking grass. No matter where they live, as long as there is water, King Magi carp can live very well. No matter it is windy or rainy, they still can't stop them from splashing, splashing, and splashing. The water splashed and jumped, ensuring that they always had vitality. At the same time, they followed the army of Carp King and ran around the world, and finally came to Boston. Along the way, many difficulties and crises were encountered, which ultimately created such an amazing army of Carp King. Evolution. Is it unusual for this group of Magi carp? This blinking, dull-eyed Magi carp? Probably I am thinking about a question that is worth thinking about. How did I evolve? Hey, weird, I actually evolved. Then this. Salute after you evolve. Ka. Ho 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 ho. In the artificial lake area, what truly brings a perfect ending to this opening is the appearance of the Gyarados. Jin, evolved. How come it has evolved? Nashir looked at the Gyarados focused in the light in great surprise. Compared with ordinary elves, this huge body, especially among them, this is an excellent viewing area. Cluck K. Cluck K. Kelly even felt that there were many Magi carp under the venue where she was, as if they were about to jump ashore. Such a nurturing method is simply unheard of. Kelly took a deep breath, her eyes under the light were still extremely clear. Using music with a strong rhythm to form a huge echo in the venue, and even spontaneous responses from us tourists, under such conditions, a natural evolution was achieved for the Magi carp who urgently need stimulation to evolve. Condition. This method of evolution first requires a soul singer who can control the overall situation, and this soul singer who can arouse the passion in the hearts of us humans and these elves is Jigglypuff on the stage. Secondly, Jigglypuff alone is not enough. Otherwise, in the elf world, the evolution of Magi carp under the cultivation of trainers would not be difficult. It needs a prelude to guide the evolution until the melody reaches its true peak. This kind of cultivation method is really shocking. Kelly Adams isn't the only one feeling shaken at the moment. The gym leaders from North America who thought they were simply watching a concert in this park, all look solemn at this moment. There is no doubt that they all believe that this is the method used by Chinese trainer Yang Yu to cultivate Carp King into Gyarados, but this method, it's too incredible. At this moment, for the students from the top elf university in China. GCAO, don't be 6. Evolve. I feel like a ghost if this Carp King doesn't evolve. Under such conditions, wouldn't it be easy to personalize? Everyone, what's so surprising? Professor Yang Yu was able to make Magi carp suddenly evolve during his speech. In this concert, with such a large scale, one evolution is not enough. Yes, it's unreasonable if you don't come with a lot of people. It's over, it's swollen, it's so swollen that I can even say it, ha 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 ha. These students, who were stationed as temporary staff in various corners of the park, felt relieved when they saw the big eyes on the faces of these North American tourists, who did not even dare to take a breath. Is it surprising, unexpected, exciting? Isn't it the evolution of Magi Carp? It's a joke. However, what all of them, including these students, don't know is that this army of Carp King has traveled across thousands of mountains and rivers, and those who can evolve have basically evolved. Even there are still many waters hidden around the southern suburbs. The appearance of this Gyarados. It's just that the Magi Carp squads that had the opportunity to evolve were a bit incompetent and almost uninteresting. This one belongs to the kind that rejoined the team after falling behind before. Not to mention, is Yang Yu the trainer who lacks Gyarados? Jigglypuff opened his arms and bowed slightly. The next concert program is the flower dance of beautiful flower Ishihara Miku, Dance of the Four Seasons. The stage is handed over and the lights are interlaced. Amidst the roaring applause, Jigglypuff took his final bow first. This is just the beginning. Bola. Jigglypuff closed his eyes and took a deep breath. It has another show to prepare for. Wait. Rock you. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 915. Dance of the Seasons. There are 4 important melodies in the elven world. 4 seasons. They each represent the characteristics of the petal dance performed by grass elves in their respective periods. The dance of spring is soft and subtle. The dance of summer is as passionate as fire. The dance of autumn is sharp and chilling. Dance of winter, the cold winter. The If there is the most beautiful thing in the elf world, it is the heartfelt smiles of humans and elves. This is a smile that can exude hope for life. Beautiful flowers. The final evolved form of walking grass. In an environment with sufficient sunlight or by using a sunstone that contains the power of the sun, the stinky flower can evolve into a beautiful flower. Compared with another type of final evolution, the overlord flower, the beautiful flower is more popular among trainers in the elf world. In beauty contests or many other events, beautiful flowers often perform beautiful dances on the stage. At this moment, with the Magi Carp artificial lake as the center and all the walking grass around, these pairs of twinkling eyes look devoutly at the graceful figure in the spotlight. The gentle evening breeze, Gardevoir's superpower, and Ishihara Miku's dancing posture swept up petals in the air, sometimes like a storm of flowers, sometimes like the whisper of flowers. Petal dance, this is an extremely powerful move among the grass elf moves. Just when these petals completely gathered around Ishihara Miku under the superpower of Gardevoir, they were like a spherical storm of petals, and with the last beat, bang! Dancing towards the petals that exploded all around, it was like a goddess scattering flowers. Pieces of crystal petals began to scatter into the world from the air. The faint floral fragrance overflows with the wind. Yeah. The walking grass quickly jumped up on the spot again. The flowers scattered from high in the sky were beautiful gifts prepared by Ishihara Miku for them. These petals collected from the elf beautiful flower petal dance come from the Sakura Country Beautiful Flower Dance Troupe. Although this dance troupe cannot come to North America, the beautiful flowers in the dance troupe can bring this beauty to life. A vision of hope, through the petals. Leave it to these walkers. Where the petals are flying, the grass grows. Do you want it? Now, it's for you. Seeing the walking grass jumping up one after another, trying to reach the petals flying in the air, the tourists unanimously chose to use their own actions to help the walking grass. Some people held the walking grass high and jumped higher on the spot, trying to help the walking grass catch the petals scattered in the air with their green grass-like hair. Some people directly summoned their own elves to help collect walking grass together. This should be the happiest moment for the children, because they were surprised to find that among the crowd, some people suddenly appeared, holding bubble machines in their hands, hiding in the crowd and rendering the dance of petals in the air. Aesthetic effect. It's truly breathtakingly beautiful. The world's top glamour contest master is truly amazing. Among the crowd, several gym leaders from North America were completely impressed by this performance. Although they have more or less other purposes for coming here, now, this does not affect their discovery of the beautiful places in the elf world. If the future battle between elves is to be held here, I will never agree to take action. The speaker, like other ordinary tourists, stretched out his hand to pick out petals one after another, and then placed them in front of the walking grass in his hand. Looking at the smile on the face of the walking grass, this person's temples smiled slightly. Jefferson, the pale North American Dragon Gym leader, smiled warmly and then spoke. If it were me, I wouldn't be happy either. This is not only a paradise for elves, but also a paradise for us human trainers, as well as these elves wandering in Boston. Grass Gym leader Yilian nodded slightly. They already have a home. Elian had an idea and took out an elf ball in her hand. Beautiful flowers. She has cultivated this type of elves. She subconsciously doesn't like Yang Yu, the Chinese trainer, because during the time in the Sky City Secret Realm, there was a young genius trainer Astrid in North America, but there is still no news about him. This matter has basically been determined by the Elf Alliance, and Astrid may not come back. This Chinese trainer Yang Yu is also the youngest gym-level trainer in China. Such an identity can easily remind her of Astrid. In any case, it is not the time to look sad at this time. What is more important is to communicate well with these elves. Babble. The walkers with flower petals on their heads beside the gym leaders suddenly saw the flashing light of the elf balls. When they looked at the elf that appeared one by one, their eyes were completely froze here. When the walking grassmen lowered their heads and squinted their eyes hard, convinced that the elves that appeared in front of them were not mistaken, but a real beautiful flower, in an instant, the expression on their faces changed from surprise to that of a flower. Bloom. I won't allow the elf battle here. Elian looked at the other gym leaders indifferently. Even if some of the remaining gym leaders want to fight Yang Yu, there is really no need to do so in this paradise worth visiting. People of this age have families and children, and some even have grandchildren. They were thinking that maybe they could bring their children over to play when they returned. As for the elf battle, just change the place. For example, the super type gym. After all, there is no place in Boston that is more suitable for a spirit duel at the peak of the gym level than a super type gym. Anyway, the renovation of the super type gym has not been completed yet, right? When the time comes, everyone can just put in some money together. How should I say? Now it is also recycling waste. Fortunately, the super type gym leader Eisen is not here, otherwise he would probably be mad at these gym leaders. By the way, what is the current super type gym leader Eisen doing? The position itself is not a very good viewing angle, but Eisen can take advantage of his super type gym leader to sneak in the air and find a slightly better position on his own. When Eisen's walker tried his best to attract Eisen's attention with his most strenuous movements in front of Eisen, he even wanted to prove that the concert here could attract his attention. Eisen sat on the head of Metagross. After all, Metagross looked like a four-legged bench, suspended in the air. Eisen could also hang his legs down. At the same time, the way the walking grass on the head of the Metagross stepped on its feet and tried to make a sound made Eisen feel a little funny. What is this walking grass doing? Eisen does not deny that this pedal dance is very beautiful. The dancer Mizu Ishihara can capture the soul in her beautiful dance. But looking from a distance, Eisen was even more surprised by the reaction of the walkers in the audience. Of course, especially this walking grass. Do you want these petals? Come on, you can have as many as you want. Eisen noticed the walking grass desire for these petals. As the leader of a super-type gym, any super-type elf can collect a large number of petals from the air with just a few movements. Eisen used these petals with great interest to make a rain of petals on the head of the walking grass. But, although this is indeed what Loco wants in his heart, it is not what he wants most. What this walking grass wants most is to make the tourist in front of him take back what he said before, and to prove to him that their concert is very beautiful and worthy of applause and cheers. Meeting. These gym-level super-type elves understand the idea of walking grass very clearly, but the super-type gym leader Eisen has not seen it yet. However, my mood felt much more relaxed. With the recent events in the gym and the troubles in the Elf Alliance, Eisen's head is a bit big. For him, an elven open-air concert like this is relatively avant-garde. It's really okay. Of course, it's just okay. Eisen will never admit the excellent stage effect produced by Chinese trainer Yang Yu here. In short, he just won't, don't ask why. This is the real troublemaker in Eisen's super gym. Just when Eisen was about to tease the seemingly tireless walking grass, there was an inexplicable rhythm sound in his ears that could stir up excitement deep in his heart. Thump. Boom boom pa. Eisen's pupils suddenly shrank, and his eyes instantly looked in the direction of the sound. Dance of the Four Seasons, the conclusion of this visual feast, satisfies the eyes of tourists. The lights faded, and the full moon in the sky looked bright again. The opening of Rise and the splendor of the Dance of the Four Seasons make this elf open-air concert worth the whole day for tourists just to get here. During the daytime entertainment, I also worked hard to have a good relationship with my walking grass. In this amusement park, there was also the unforgettable hippopotamus food court. Even now, I still have a lot of aftertaste in my mouth. Now, with such a high-quality concert opening, they are looking forward to the following shows more and more, and some of them are even starting to feel frightened. This is just the beginning. This person is great, the master of Sakura Country's beauty contest. This person is really good. I didn't expect Yang Yu, the trainer from China, to invite her here. Kelly was full of praise. Sister, when I was in Sakura Country, Yang Yu participated in the Elf Gorgeous contest at the dojo of this gorgeous contest master, and it seems that Yang Yu's Slow King and Sakura Country's Slow King Millie are the ones who opened Millie's clothing store. A leader and a hippopotamus have feelings for each other, Nasher whispered. So that's it? However, such a performance is really a feast for the eyes. How can we see such a great show at home? Sister, how about we come over tomorrow to play? This is possible, but tomorrow I have to go see this great Chinese trainer Yang Yu. If he builds a complete elf paradise here in the future, let's see if we can cooperate here. No matter what, we can't let those little bitches take the lead. Kelly shook her seat slightly, but her heartbeat suddenly began to accelerate. What kind of rhythm is this? Thump. Boom boom pa. In the dark venue, there was still no light. But under the moonlight, it seems that the outline of the elf appearing on the field can be vaguely seen. They seem to be tapping something, and at the same time, you can see from a close angle below that these elves are on the stage, vigorously stomping their feet at the same time, to enhance the accent. Thump. Boom boom pa. Almost the moment this extremely simple rhythm appeared, the tourists in this place invariably felt some resonance in their souls. Because this rhythm is too simple, as if there is no technique at all. But just because of its simplicity, the moment the rhythmic heavy sound sounded, it instantly attracted their attention. After a fierce opening, a beautiful dance, and now, what kind of excitement will the scene bring? These tourists don't know. But the walking weeds around them knew. In addition to the walking grass, the Ratutta in the park also know that there are other wandering elves, and they all know it in their hearts. Once this rhythm kicks in, a pair of eyes became extremely bright in this darkness. Just let yourself be crazy again. Bowley. Bowley. Buddy Yuri boy. Make a big noise playing in the street. A voice full of street rock charm came from the stage. Beside this voice, there was the familiar rough voice of Jigglypuff. Accompanying it, he stretched out his hand and tapped the microphone without forgetting, make a thumping accent. The lights suddenly appeared, and on the stage, a rough face with a slight vicissitude, but after trimming, had an indescribable charm. Rom the Wanderer tried his best to hold the microphone in his hand just like Jigglypuff. He never thought that one day he would stand on a huge stage and perform rock music for thousands of tourists around him. Never, never. He recalled the scene when he was a child. Just like the lyrics, he made a lot of noise on the street. When he grew up, his face was covered with mud and he became a wanderer. Maybe he really had no glory? What brilliance is there? It's him. He's the captain of the pirate ship. Mom, 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 the person singing is the pirate ship, the captain of the pirate ship project. It turns out it's him. What is his real name? Is he a famous singer in the rock music scene? OMG, this look. At this moment, amid the exclamations with rapid heartbeats, Wang Millie, who was stunned, controlled the lights and turned them on one after another. From the body of the wanderer Rom, it descends on the body of the cat boss behind him. Another exclamation. This is the one at the door, the righteous pirate cat boss. It's wearing a blindfold and hitting the stage floor with something in its hand. It's so cool. How could it be it? It really was it. This cat boss was a hero who heroically protected the walking grass at the entrance of the park. For tourists in North America, the heroic plot is engraved in their bones. In their eyes, the cat boss is an elf hero. Such an elf full of heroic plots can arouse excitement in the hearts of tourists, coupled with such a powerful rhythm. My heart, which had not yet calmed down from the opening, was instantly detonated again based on the fiery excitement of the first time. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place. Rom felt the thunderous exclamation. He once had nothing. Even the cat boss not far behind him was not an elf bred from Meow. They wander together, survive together, and rock out together at night. When you feel angry, you can only vent your anger by kicking a can on the roadside, right? But even so, the cat boss, who is connected with Rom, also understands in his heart. After all, it is just a wandering elf. If he whitewashes his name a little bit, then he is just the somewhat famous elf cat boss among a group of wandering elves. Behind its black eye patch is a cloudy eyeball that has lost its strength. If you take off the blindfold, perhaps, the exclamations caused by this are not because of its coolness, but the exclamations of horror. But, so what? None of this can stop them from bringing happy rock and roll to the elf world. Even though the world has forgotten them, they have never forgotten the world. For Rom the Wanderer, he is a wanderer, but the cat boss, not a wandering elf. To the cat boss, he is the wandering elf boss, but Rom is not a wanderer. Because, it is the boss cat. The moment when the accent of the music melody and the beat percussion device in his claws coincided again, the moment when Jigglypuff's increasingly wild and explosive singing voice merged with this accent, the moment when Roma's lyrics were about to sing the most sensational song. A line from The lights were the first to detonate in the venue. Thump. Above the water, an extremely elegant and slender body, a smooth waist belonging to Minas, and a blue flashing fantail, from top to bottom, instantly slapped on the water with a loud sound. A fireworks-like firework in the sky reached the highest point in the sky, and at the moment it was about to explode. On the whole field, every walking grass, every ratata, even the injured Bulbasaur, followed the rhythm on the stage, followed the croaking frog, fat ratata, two-tailed monster hand and fat frog on the stage. Ding and the cat boss. He faced the ground and stamped his powerful foot. At this moment, under this sound wave, everyone's scalps went numb instantly. We will rock you. B. Boom boom, pa. In the venue, Kelly's sky blue pupils suddenly shrank, and her heartbeat seemed to skip a beat. Such a scene, such a scene. Her eyes fell on the walking grass in front of her that was struggling to hide its feet, because there seemed to be an indescribable force in Lulu Cao's eyes. He was unswerving and trying his best, as if he was inviting her. Sister, I can't stand it anymore. I can't bear the rhythm of this music. Nasher had been crazily brainwashed by this rhythm early on, especially when his eyes also noticed his walking grass. His foot just stepped on it. What kind of rock music is this? This, my God. When Kelly felt that the extremely impactful and shocking rhythm was about to appear in her ears again, she finally couldn't resist the eyes of Linko, who tried hard to attract her to join this rock rhythm. We will rock you. B. Boom boom, pa. The fireworks exploding in the sky are the most brilliant colors at this moment. At the moment when this heavy sound is heard, there must be the sound of a water tail setting off a huge wave, like a very epic stepping point in the stormy sea. Cleave through the waves. On the stage, Jigglypuff raised his microphone high and spread his arms, just like what you often see in concerts, gesturing to the whole audience. The action he followed. Thump. More and more people, under the influence of their own walking grass, followed their families and even other unfamiliar tourists here, stomping their feet vigorously toward the ground. We will rock you. Roma on the stage remembered Yang Yu's words deeply in his mind. After singing this, just repeat this sentence. Leftover. Leave it to the elves. Leave it to the visitors in the park. Let the whole world become a rock and roll paradise. Perhaps at first, Ram didn't understand why Yang Yu said that, but since he heard this lyric, everything is understood. In the lake, the Carp King army began to use their own cockaloo to follow this rhythm. This will be the new battle song of the future King Carp army. Under this war song. Boom boom pa. Zhyla. The flashing electric balls in the sky, under the entire dark sky, began to render this incredible stage. The power supply of the Male Sheep army reached its peak in an instant. Look! Converging on the giant metal monster in the sky. Aizen, the super gym leader, watched in silence as more and more tourists began to join in the crazy tapping music. Even the metagross under it even began to tremble up and down under the footsteps of the walking grass. Aizen looked at Luko's clear eyes, looking hard, wanting him to rock out with Aizen. At this moment, super-type gym leader Aizen, a proud gym leader, finally lowered his arrogant head in front of this scene. Yang Yu, the trainer of the Chinese nation, did something that he could never do in his life. Why? After a sigh. Metro Gross, let's go to the ground. Walking grass, it worked. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 916. Huaguo, Yanjing. Fairy-type gyms have always been a gym with a gentle and quiet atmosphere. Although some of the fairy-type elves here are lively, the atmosphere of the entire gym gives people a very comfortable feeling. There is no one that makes people feel uncomfortable. A sudden shock in my heart. But something seems to have gone wrong today. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. There were bursts of sounds coming from inside the gym. In this relatively closed gym, at the same time, some elf Jigglypuffs mastered the two moves of Round Sing and Echo, following the sound on the screen. Together with the hot rhythm coming. Simply cannot stop. On weekends, Tourists who came to relax and watch in the square garden outside the fairy gym looked at the fairy gym in front of them in bewilderment. I don't know if there is an illusion. The fairy gym is shaking. At this time, Yayan, the leader of the fairy gym, could not help but twitch her eyelids in the center of the field. She has now begun to doubt whether she made the right decision by letting Yang Yu transmit the live footage to her elf gym, because now every Jigglypuff is completely affected by the crazy Jigglypuff on the screen. They have never seen. It turns out that Jigglypuff can also play rock music that shocks people and shakes the hearts of elves. The world has closed a door for Jigglypuff on the stage, but opened a road for him that has a difficult road, but in the end, he can still stand on the top of the world stage. The elves in the fairy gym cheered for Jigglypuff, and also involuntarily followed Jigglypuff, to this powerful rhythm. Sing. Under the sound of each Jigglypuff singing in turn, the terror of the sound waves, and the echoes caused in this closed gym, can be described as extremely terrifying. Even the Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird belonging to the gym leader Yayan in the back is slender and delicate. My neck couldn't help but sway. The entire gym fell into a carnival. But precisely because of this kind of carnival, it seems that the carnival is a bit too much. When the first skylight glass in the fairy gym shattered, areas with glass one after another, like dominoes, one after another, completely exploded and shattered from the venue. Yayan, the owner of the museum, looked at the broken glass around the place, and her whole body suddenly felt bad. What the hell? The owner Yayan's eyes were so wide and terrifying. Yang Yutu didn't come to the fairy gym to play elf battle, but under such a scene, he was able to drive Jigglypuff, who mastered round singing and echo in the fairy gym, to resonate with the sound waves through live broadcast. It's so damn evil. Is this a fight from across the mountain, or a substitute attack? The owner Yayan looked at the inside of her fairy gym, wondering if it could continue to operate. In her heart, it seemed as if there were countless alpacas galloping past. No, Yang Yu didn't cause huge damage to the Dragon Gym headquarters last time when he went to fight against the Dragon Gym. The fairy gym must not suffer such a big loss. I have to call Yun Zhenfei. He may not know what happened at the concert. I have to send him this live video. The owner of the venue, Yayan, muttered to herself, then looked at him. Liang, there may be a secret about the evolution of King Magikarp into Gyarados, and it may also have a certain effect on dragon elves. Be sure to let him let all the dragon elves watch together. Dragon Gym leader Yun Zhenfei was curious about what good thing Yayan had given him. It was a simple and lightweight videotape. It contained some live video that Yang Yu made in North America. Yayan said that it contains something about the secret of Magikarp's evolution may be helpful to the growth of dragon elves. At this point, Yun Zhenfei really recognized Yang Yu's ability to cultivate elves. Hell, even in the mini-dragon period, the mini-dragon can use jet flames, 100,000 volts, and freezing light. Such a trainer, in terms of the ability to cultivate elf mini-dragons, let Yun Zhenfei, a Dragon Gym, the owner felt a little ashamed of himself. Then I have to appreciate the secret of King Carp's evolution. Yun Zhenfei has no doubt about him. He and the fairy gym leader Yayan are also old friends. Here is the secret of King Carp's evolution. You would definitely not cheat him on such a matter. Yun Zhenfei asks someone to bring a projection device in his dragon-type elf space. Just in time. Wouldn't it be beautiful to watch these cute little dragons while playing with them? However, when this huge volume started to be played, Yun Zhenfei himself was immediately dumbfounded. Because just behind him, on the huge rock that was used exclusively for Baby Dragon to hit the wall, there was an inexplicably familiar collision rhythm. Then, all the dragon elves started to dance around in the breeding room. You know, dragon elves are not as gentle as fairies. Most dragon elves may seem a bit silly on the surface, but in fact, there is a fierce dragon living in their hearts. What does that mean? The moment when the strong rhythmic dong dong bang and the rhythm of the baby dragon's head hitting the wall began to overlap. Throughout the entire breeding house, the ground began to tremble violently. What a big mess, earthquake. A dragon-type elf may not be able to shake the earth, but these elves possess excellent genetics and are carefully cultivated by breeders in the dragon-type gym. They almost start jumping on the spot like crazy. Stomp your feet. Oh, it's over. Yeah Yan. Yoon Zhenfei's hysterical roar rang out in the breeding base. Yoon Zhenfei never expected the gym that he had not been demolished by Yang Yu before would actually cause a huge shock in the dragon elf training base in the gym in such a way. Oh dash. When a baby dragon is sitting on the rock, under this music, I feel that my whole body is full of power. It can fly higher. With this leap, baby Long Bai's body instantly shone with the incredible light of evolution. There is an excellent nurturing environment and nurturing resources in the Dragon Gym. Baby Long Bai started his own evolution under the collective stimulation of this rhythm. Not only is the baby dragon Bai, but there is also a dragon elf Yaya. This Yaya was often bullied by the baby dragon here. It always wanted to have the courage to fight against the baby dragon, but it seemed that it couldn't beat it. But the evolution of the baby dragon Bai has completely stimulated Yaya. If the baby dragon evolves, won't this little Yaya be bullied even more? A force full of resentment, a rage hidden in the chest that urgently needs to be vented, accompanied by the rhythm of music that shakes the dragon's heart, at this moment. He gritted his teeth and clenched his little fists. Yaya, never admit defeat. When the second light of evolution lit up in the Dragon Gym Dragon Elf training base, Yoon Zhenfei roared and didn't know whether he should cry or laugh. The ground at the cultivation base has cracked and obviously needs to be repaired. But how to explain the evolution of these two dragon-type elves? Wrong. Yoon Zhenfei's pupils shrank. In the field, there was also a blue cotton bird with wings swinging up and down like a fighter jet. The light of evolution also shone on its body. This is what I should be grateful for. Or should I curse? Yang Yu, Yan, thank you both so much. Yoon Zhenfei, the Dragon Gym leader, felt the deep malice from the world from this moment on. Wow, my mentality is broken. Oh. Yang Yu blocked his nose in embarrassment. The sudden cold wind at night was a bit unexpected. Brother, are you okay? Do you want to take some cold medicine? Yang Xiao asked with concern. It's okay, it's okay. Maybe one of the gym leaders is envious, jealous, and hates to bless me. Among the gym leaders in North America, except for one evil-type gym leader, they have not successfully entered the park, although it is possible to sneak in by some means. Yes, but it's not a big deal. Brother, are they going to fight you against elves when they come? Maybe, but don't worry, come and I'll fight you. Don't worry about these things, Yang Yu said easily with a smile. Now, our Jigglypuff should become a big star, haha. That's for sure, brother, this is the Jigglypuff you bred, and it must be different from other Jigglypuffs. Yang Xiao was equally excited. This is a concert. I have never had the opportunity to go to an elf concert in China before, but now I am at the concert. When I get back from vacation, I will tell my good friends about it. I will envy them to death. The charm of rock and roll. Even though the real lyrics have ended, the everlasting sound of We Will Rock You keeps rising and falling in the venue. Tonight is destined to be a crazy night. The elves around Yang Yu all ran directly to Jigglypuff's stage to play with Jigglypuff. Now such a scene can no longer be controlled by wanting to control it. As long as there are no fights in the park, everything will be fine. The impact of such a rhythm is very exciting. Ishihara Miku has always been curious about the planning of this elf open-air concert, especially the opening song Rise and the rock music that can drive people crazy with just one lyric. Whose masterpiece is this? Maybe I dreamed it when I was dreaming. It was the melody in the dream. This was Yang Yu's calm answer. Looking at this figure under the moonlight, Ishihara Miku's eyes were shocked, and she nodded slowly. Maybe, this is a legend. What Yang Yu didn't know was that he didn't show his face at all at the concert. At this time, there were already a group of his rock fans in North America at night. They are looking forward to this concert planner and legendary singer Yang Yu sang in person. However, it is impossible now. Tonight is destined to be a legend. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Xiao. Chapter 917. Today's activities have ended and the park will be closed soon. Please exit in an orderly manner. Welcome to visit again. Today's activities have ended and the park will be closed soon. Please exit in an orderly manner. Welcome to visit again. The loudspeakers in the park had no choice but to call some of the tourists who were immersed in the crazy rock world out of their own world. Such a scene made even the nightmare god Darkrai couldn't help but be stunned. This is something even his dark hole can't do. Sure enough, some things are scarier in the real world than in dreams. Humans are really a group of unimaginable elves? We actually spent a whole day here? This feeling is so comfortable. When Kelly Adams was about to leave here, she couldn't help but pick up her walking stick and lift it high. Sister, what about the mission we agreed on this morning to come here? Nashir only felt a pair of eyes that could flash a dazzling light in the night staring at him. Nashir's throat moved, and he suddenly calmed down. Don't worry, at least today the other little bitches won't have the chance to go to that Chinese trainer Yang Yu. We are still on the same level. Kelly was not in a hurry at this time, because she saw a striking Metagross, and the trainer next to Metagross the super-type gym leader Aizen. When we go back and tell my grandfather about our amusement experience here, and let him make the final decision, this will definitely become an important and iconic elf amusement park in Boston and even North America in the future. Kelly stretched out her hand to hold the walking grass close to the tip of her nose, and took a deep breath on its green leafy hair. This intimate action not only surprised the walking grass, but also made Nashir beside her feel very incredible. Thank you for accompanying me today. I will remember that there is a walking grass here. Hey! The walking grass jumps and lets the grass on its head say goodbye as if waving. It will also remember this important day today, remember this happy time today, and remember this person who can bring it to it. Bring happy visitors. Today is really a day full of hope. The smile that appeared once again on Ling Cao's face was still so simple and sincere. Tourists one after another reluctantly looked at this incredibly attractive amusement park, and then looked back at the empty southern suburbs with no other facilities. It would be great if there was a hotel here. This way you don't have to rush back to downtown Boston. You can continue playing the next day. I miss the walking grass here, the hippo food street here, and the elf music concert here at night. What the children are most reluctant to bear is to say goodbye to the walking grass. Although it was the first day they met, they played happily together all day long, and they became friends with the children. Saying goodbye to friends. I really can't bear it. Mama, can I take walking grass home? A little boy held a walking stick in his arms. When he was about to walk out of the park, his eyes were bright and he pulled his mother's arm expectantly. My child, the walking grass here is a small employee in an amusement park. How can you bring a small employee home? The little boy's mother smiled and said, besides, you are still young. For elves, you need to learn more knowledge. If you are really capable of raising a walking grass by yourself, we will not object to letting you cultivate a walking grass. Although the cultivation of walking grass is simple, there is a very important issue to consider, which is the first stage of evolution of walking grass, the stink flower. Once the smelly flower releases its odor, for families who cultivate walking grass, what will happen to them? But it was almost a huge disaster. There must be special equipment to collect the odor of smelly flowers, otherwise the entire family will be in pain. The little boy still needs to grow more, take on more responsibilities, and after learning more knowledge, he can accept the evolutionary form of the smelly flower. In this way, cultivating the walking grass, both for the little boy himself and for the walking grass. This is the best. Now, the little boy is still a little younger. All right. The little boy pouted, put the walking grass in his arms on the ground, and then said like a whisper between good friends, "Walking grass, let's see you later. I will come to see you when I have time." You're watching the tourists leave. The walking grasses also felt reluctant to leave, but what they knew better than other wild elves was, the way it is now is the life they want most. As for finding a trainer who won't abandon you, perhaps, that is a luxury wish. It may even be unrealistic. This is like a dream. If the dream is broken, the walking grasshoppers are afraid that they will not be able to accept this reality. Now, the good signs have just begun. They will not think about unrealistic fantasies. The most important thing is still survival. Look at Eisen and his metagross. You didn't expect that he would be so affected by the rock music here that he couldn't help himself. None of you are the same. Anyway, I remember that when we were young, you male trainers were not very enthusiastic about howling at night. Ilian, the leader of the North American grass gym, said teasingly. I won't go looking for Yang Yu today. It's been a whole day here, and these walking grasses also need a good rest. Although they are very lively under the moonlight, they are tired after a whole day. I don't know what happened to them. Made it through. Perhaps these are some things that we ignore as gym leaders. The life at the bottom of the elf world is completely unimaginable to us. Let's go. This paradise is not a place where the battle of elves should be disturbed. Maybe some gym leaders had their own prejudices before coming here, but at least based on the experience of this paradise now, especially since they each brought a walking grass, this made them feel the anger has more or less dissipated. If it disturbs this paradise, maybe I feel a little bit sorry in my heart. Eisen, let's go. I know, I'll be right over. Super-type gym leader Eisen was sweating like rain. Rock music. This was Eisen's favorite thing to play when he was young. Even this metagross had a small connection with Eisen in rock music when he was playing Iron Dumbbell. Seeing that I'm in a good mood today, I won't argue with Yang Yu for the time being. Eisen felt that his body was a little tired. After all, he was no longer young. The bones in his body were shaking with excitement. If he went to play an elf battle at this time, he might not be completely confused. Metrogross, let's go. Metagross, who had a rather ferocious and serious appearance, waved his arm towards their walking grass in a rare move. This is a happy time, and Metagross really misses the old days. Yang Yu, they just left like that. In the tower, Wu Yuqian and Wan Kai's who had sharp eyes. Although it was almost 10 o'clock in the evening, they thought that there might be gym leaders from North America coming here. Wu Yuqian was ready to support Yang Yu. Wan Kai's who is ready to unlock his curse mode. He is waiting for these gym leaders to come. If the visitors are unkind, let them see what the evolved form of the cursed doll is, the super curse Wan Kai. Weak. Our dragon gym leader Yoon and I talked on the phone before. There will definitely be an elf battle, but it won't be now, so don't be so nervous tonight. I really want to thank everyone today. This was a perfect concert. Show. Not much else to say, let's treat everyone to a late night snack from the Hippo food court tonight. Yang Yu waved his arms high and sounded very happy. He even stood on tiptoes and raised his arms as if to coax a child. You could feel the joy in Yang Yu's heart. Long live Professor Yang Yu. Go, 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 go. Mifu. 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 There is always one figure who rushes faster than everyone else. There's nothing he can't do, and Hakalang, who happens to be the #1 rice cook, felt extremely excited when he heard the word late night snack. After all, Hakran now has to eat at least 4 meals a day, and if he has an extra late night snack, it will be 5. As for where the fourth meal came from, it was naturally the meal in the dream. With Darkrai here, the dream is not a dream, and it is completely real. The lights of the Daepo food street are slightly bright. For these students staying in the park, after eating midnight snacks, they can just bring their own tents and camp directly near the artificial lake. Although the weather is a bit dull now, in the elf world, it couldn't be easier to change the temperature in some environments. If that doesn't work, can you use the Little Dream Demon's Return to Zero Devil calculator to find out? It is guaranteed to frighten people to the point of breaking their hearts in an instant. Not to mention, it's really possible. Many people here have participated in national competitions, and some even participated in the same competition as Yang Yu. In this happy and joyful supper time, gradually, the night is getting late. The walking grass gathered together, separated a little space from each other, and began to rest at night in the glass shed where they rested. At the same time, the Rathutta had also finished their work and, together with the rest of the elves, rested in the area near the glass shed. In the clear night sky, the moon looks extremely huge and bright at this time. The moonlight shines on them, friendly and soft. In the sweet smiles on the lips of these walking grasses, beautiful dreams are intertwined with the dreams of Rathutta and other elves in this paradise. This is the power of thousands of beautiful dreams. The moonlight seemed to flicker suddenly. In the shadow, Darkray's whole body began to tremble faintly. No, 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 no. Darkrai wanted to control himself away from the dream world. But the problem is exactly that. For Darkrai, reality and dreams are completely connected. You can't see me, you can't see me, you can't see me. The human world actually has such pure power of dreams. How many elves are dreaming beautiful dreams together? An island appeared quietly hidden in the dream world. On the island, there was a pair of breathtaking eyes. At this time, the eyes looked curiously at this incredible area. In the next second, these eyes flickered through surprise, joy, irritation, anger, and finally reached the state of rage and sneer. It turns out there is a black rat here. This rat looks quite fat, I don't know where it is hiding. It has been hidden for thousands of years. The gentle and indifferent words suddenly changed sharply at the last moment. You said, right, Darkrai. God of dreams, Cresselia, dreams are coming. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 918. Darkrai is like an ostrich burying his head in the ground, thinking in his heart that as long as Darkrai can't see Cresselia, then Cresselia can't see him. But, how is this possible? They are also gods who control the dream world. If they are in the same world, after entering the dream, they can even see traces of each other at a glance. If it weren't for the fact that they were far apart in the real world and Darkray's Crescent Island was in the land of polar night, Cresselia would have no chance of finding Darkrai who was trying to avoid him. But now, Darkrai appeared in Cresselia's field of vision. Look what this bastard guy is doing. When a ray of light like a monster and a moon flashed in the sky of the real world, just like Jian, a dimensional gate instantly appeared in the sky of the real world, and Cresselia's figure instantly disappeared into the night. In the air, enter Dream World. The power of the moon contains extremely incredible power of fairies. At this moment, it is drawing a gorgeous arc in the dream world. Perhaps this arc with fatal attraction is a beautiful sight in dreams for other elves. However, for the nightmare god Darkrai, no. Cresselia, if you have something to say, please say it. This power of the moon, just like the judgment of the moon, represents the justice of the moon. Under this full moon, the power of the moves is more terrifying than the moves of the king-level elves. Split the fog of the dream hidden by Darkrai. Under the moonlight, the black Lotta began to flee crazily in the dream. However, wherever the moonlight touched, the aura of Lotta the machine has been completely locked. Oh, poor little Helata, run quickly, don't let me catch you, be careful, your tail. Cressalia's pink ring-shaped wings surround her, flickering brightly and darkly, as if weaving a pink dream. This is the dream of Cressalia, the god of dreams. It is also the nightmare of the nightmare god Darkrai. The crescent-like decorations on both sides of Cressalia's head are like the incarnation of the moon in the dream at this moment. The way of justice represents the elimination of the moon, or forget it, and represents the moon's punishment of you, Darkrai. Take a leisurely stroll in the garden, leisurely. Cressalia didn't look worried at all. In this place, she didn't seem to feel the location of Crescent Island, but it didn't matter whether there was Crescent Island or not. Anyway, even if there was Crescent Island, as long as Darkrai dared to go to Crescent Island, she would be able to defeat him. Cressalia will hit Crescent Island. Anyway, the cores of Full Moon Island and Crescent Island were once magnet cores created by the extremely powerful electromagnetic power of the rock god Pillar Regirock. Even if Crescent Island was smashed by her, well, it won't take long to recover a lot. As for whether it can be restored to its original state, then it depends on Darkrai's sincerity. Cressalia, if you keep acting like this, I'm going to take action. Darkrai looked at the unreasonable power of the moon behind him. Was this a happy meeting? He was clearly here to take his dog, oh no, he was here to take his life. Darkrai, you dare to resist and try it. There was a hint of cunning and arrogance in Cressalia's rather proud eyes. Who has been hiding in the elven world for thousands of years, refusing to even meet? Who has been worrying her, Cressalia, for thousands of years without even receiving a reply? Who collects the rainbow energy in his hand and condenses it into heart scales? It is obvious that he can use the heart scales to communicate, but he doesn't even use them once. Correct. Speaking of heart scales. Cressalia's pupils suddenly lit up with cold murderous intent. The pink wings surrounding her body spread out fiercely in an instant, and Cressalia transformed into a furious fighting form. The wings on her body were clearly visible in the dream sky. She tried her best to let the power of the pink moon, it seems like it can cover the entire sky. Heart scales. Hateful. For the first time in thousands of years, Darkrai used the scales of the heart. Instead of contacting her, Cressalia, he went to find Minas. Scumbag. Go to hell. When thinking of this incident, Cressalia's power belonging to the dream god fully bloomed in the dream, and the glorious and holy light seemed to completely purify the darkness. Two pink wings clicked twice, forming a cross in the air. The ancient sealing power, in this dream, was about to seal the black Lotta like a cage. Darkrai, you scumbag, use the heart scales I gave you to find Minas and help me crawl. Darkrai looked at two more blocks of the power of the moon behind him, and his scalp suddenly became numb, not to mention what he heard from Cressalia, the god of dreams. When did I use the heart scale to find Minas? Darkrai. Immediately, the natural sapphire-like eyes suddenly popped out. Lying on grass. Lying on grass. Lying on grass. I was wronged. In the dreamland of the shadow world where Darkrai was, wailing sounds resounded throughout the world. This is truly an eternal injustice. Not to mention it is an eternal injustice, it has been over 5,000 years, if you round it up, it is simply an eternal injustice. I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Darkrai's figure on the ground was as fast as lightning, and it couldn't be better than lightning. Behind him was not only the power of the moon with the momentum of cutting through the air in the horizontal direction, but also the terrifying cross seal. This is simply catching mice. Hee. Cressalia raised her head slightly and looked at the sky. The sky at night was covered with a light pink mist. To her, it was simply the most beautiful scene. It would be even better if he could capture Darkrai and enjoy this huge full moon with him. However, before arresting him, he must be taught a lesson. By the way Darkrai ran away, even though his back looked so embarrassed, he was still very handsome. Cresselia blinked her eyes, and the feather-like claws on her chest nodded carefully to each other. I don't know if it was Cresselia's illusion. We haven't seen each other for thousands of years, Darkrai. Yee, do you seem to be getting a little fat? Can you get fat by eating grass on Crescent Island? The grass from Crescent Island must be so delicious. Anyway. Cresselia hummed softly, humming slowly in the air while chasing after her. Darkrai, don't even think of escaping from her grasp. It was Darkrai who took the blame first. At this time, Cresselia must be on top. Well, looking at the black shadow running wildly on the ground from the sky. Really, really terrible. Darkrai feels that everything has gone wrong since he came out of Crescent Island until now. When he met Gengui Liahe, whose strength was at the peak of the Heavenly King level or even surpassed the Heavenly King level, he couldn't even defeat his young apprentice, but in the end he was chased and beaten. The one escaping in front was Darkrai. The reason at that time was because Darkrai had just come out of Crescent Island and forgot that he had not eaten enough. As for now, Darkrai is still escaping in front. What is the reason this time? Perhaps only Darkrai himself knows this reason. If these next few extremely powerful moon powers hit Darkrai, Darkrai would definitely not feel comfortable. The damage caused by the fairy-type moves to restrain the evil-type elves can be imagined. But the thing that Darkrai knows most is that the dream god Cresselia not only masters powerful attack moves, but also masters powerful healing moves. Even if the power of the moon can cut through the dimension and strike Darkrai, it will cause damage but will never be fatal to Darkrai. This is quite scary. Every power of the moon can cause extremely terrible damage, but every power of the moon is not fatal, and even more terrible things are yet to come. Cresselia, goddess of dreams. If a powerful healing light falls on the seriously injured Darkrai's head. Oh, it's over. The seriously injured Darkrai was able to jump around again immediately. What does that mean? This means that once Darkrai comes to life again, Cresselia can hack the power of the moon from behind again. Just asking, are you scared? Darkrai is scared to death, okay. Wow. Darkrai couldn't help but turned around, and was so frightened that his other eye was almost exposed by his killer hairstyle. You, don't come over. The power of the moon behind me is getting closer and closer, so close. Darkrai's body flashed. He was leaving his dream world and heading to Hakran's dream world. He wanted to find Hakran, and asked Hakran to help explain clearly that it was really not Minas he was looking for, it was really not him. Almost as soon as Darkrai opened the dream world passage to Harkaran's dream world, Cresselia and her power of the moon quickly tore apart the dimensional space and followed Darkrai to the Harkaran dream world. This is where. Cresselia looked at this dream world with great surprise. It's like a mountain of candies, like a river of sweet milk, like a pebble road formed by cocoa beans on the ground. Be more confident and leave like behind. This is clearly a foodie's dream world. Myth. The Hakran, who was looking for pearls at the bottom of the Moo Milk River, felt the appearance of Darkrai, twisted its tail, and quickly got its head out of the bottom of the river. Hakran blinked his eyes in the Moo Milk River. On the tip of his nose, there was a drop of crystal milk water on the small white nose. At this time, the slender figure was swaying in the river. Tail. Hakran is waiting for the arrival of nightmare god Darkrai. Well, even snacks for Darkrai have been prepared. Mifu. 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 The way Darkrai hurried through the sky looked familiar. Hakran called Darkrai several times in the river, signaling Darkrai to come down for a snack. However, behind Darkrai, it seems like something is following. Mif. In the eyes of Hakran, an elf with pink wings, a body shining with light blue light, and a moon-shaped head on its head flew quickly. Hakron blinked blankly. What elf is this? Hakaron, hark Aron, hark Aron. Please help me explain to her. It's really not the meanness I'm looking for, it's the meanness you're looking for. Darkray's wailing sounded in the sky of Hakron's dream. Mif. Are you looking for meanness? Can you finally meet your mother, meanness? Great Mif. Hakron flew out of the Moo Milk River in an instant and landed on the chocolate-covered ground, wagging its tail, just waiting for Darkray to come down and give it the scales of the heart. Darkray. Wow, Hakron, it's this time, can you be more reliable? At this moment, Darkray accidentally overlooked an important point. Hakron's dream at this time is an absolute dream. Within the dream, the strength of Cresselia, the god of dreams, will be blessed by the blessing of dreams, which means Waucheo. Woko has become bigger. When Darkray felt that something was not quite right, when he turned around, his eyes could stare down, because behind him, the move formed by the power of the moon, which was like a dimensional blade, began to rapidly expand in a state visible to the naked eye, both in terms of the scale of the move and the power contained in it. Mif. Cresselia, the god of dreams, will not destroy Hakron's dream, but even the air in the dream has a rich and sweet smell. This reminds the dream god Cresselia to recall the time when she and Darkray first met thousands of years ago. It seems that they were chasing each other in this sweet atmosphere at that time, right? Wow, Darkray, why can't you come after me? I have to chase you. Another fierce murderous aura rippled through Cresselia's body. Darkray is really trembling in front. Why did Cresselia increase her efforts again? No, why did you increase the intensity so inexplicably? Wow, the wind is blowing hard, it's not a good place to stay for a long time. Mif. Hakron suddenly looked back and forth. Darkray. Where did Darkray go? Didn't you agree to give it heart scales? Mum. Huh, don't go with him and eat all his food. Darkray was running in the sky, and from the corner of his eye he watched Hakron gnawing food crazily on the ground. He was full of tears. It's so hard for me. The dream passage is opened again. Darkray didn't know which dreamland he should go to for a while, and Cresselia was chasing after him so closely. Dream passage, randomly generated. A dull dream. In Dayday's dream, two Dayday were looking at each other. Dayday and Dayday Wangmili were cuddling with each other in the dream. By the river, they were watching the meteor shower in Dayday's dream together. If the super elves have the same mind, it will not be difficult for the king level dude and the gym level dude Wangmili to meet each other in dreams. To stay and stay together is to stay together. Yeah, boom. Yeah. Dayday Wangmili and Dayday suddenly noticed something strange in the sky. Darkray passed quickly in the sky of Dayday's dreamland. This black shadow, Dayday and Dayday Wangmili knew each other, and Dayday introduced Millie. However, the light pink light chasing Darkray behind Darkray, looking up from the ground, it looks like a shallow pink crescent. Compared with meteor showers are even more beautiful. Yeah. With his eyes wide open blankly, a magical elf wrapped in pink wings appeared behind Darkray. Ah-ah-dong. At this moment, Wangmili suddenly fixed her eyes on the pink track, and she thought of a new design plan. Here, sweet dreams plus sweet dreams are even better dreams. For Cresselia, as the phantom passed by in the air, her eyes were filled with envy as she watched Dai and Dai leaning together and holding hands. The more envious she is, the angrier Cresselia feels now. If you run away, you know how to escape. Look where you can go, Darkray, stop. Darkray felt that he had made an extremely wrong decision again. He fell into a dream like a headless fly. He was clearly buffing Cresselia, the god of dreams. The power of the moon behind him looks bigger again. Where in the dream can he help him resolve the power of Cresselia's moon? For the first time, Darkray thought of two figures. The first figure is the elf Salted Fish King. The second figure is human trainer Yang Yu. Only their dreams can help him, Darkrai. As for why? The Salty Fish King's dream was a dream that could even give Darkrai nightmares. As soon as the Salty Fish King opened his voice, he sang like this, and that harsh noise. Speaking of Yang Yu's dream, Darkrai vaguely remembered that this cunning human seemed to have prepared a song for him to deal with him. Wow, that human singing is even more terrifying than the Salted Fish King singing. Darkrai finally made his decision. The most he can do is accept the noise from the Salted Fish King. As for the human trainer Yang Yu, forget it, Darkrai can't stand it at all. Good brother, Salted Fish King, I, Darkrai, am here. Come and hear you sing. Darkrai never expected that one day, he would run into the dream of Salted Fish King and take the initiative to listen to Salted Fish King singing. Wow, I said too much, it's all tears. However, in the dream of Salted Fish King, the one who sang was not the Salted Fish King, but became a great beauty. Darkrai? Lying on grass. Is this the only last option? No. I finally caught you, Black Radha. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 919. Darkrai has almost escaped to Yang Yu's dream world, and has already stepped into Yang Yu's dream world with one foot through the dream passage. Unfortunately, in the dreams of these elves, Cresselia seemed to be stimulated in a series. From the sweet smell of Hakran's dream, like a sweet first love, to the wonderful world of staying together in a dull dream to watch the stars and the moon, this is a scene of passionate love, which is perfect for being alone on an island. For Cresselia, who has spent thousands of years. What is it if it's not exciting? The bastard Darkrai actually came to show her such a scene. Isn't this a shame? The most important thing is, what did Cresselia see in the dream of the Salted Fish King? Minas, who is singing in a dream, why on earth do you say you are not here to find Minas? Cresselia's angry eyes subconsciously ignored the Salted Fish King in front of Minas, who was lying leisurely on the lake listening to songs in the lake auditorium. Minas was the one who completely detonated Cresselia's fragile nerves. Fuse. Go to hell, you scumbag. The Salted Fish King was lying in the lake in his dream, with even greater doubts in his big eyes. Just now, did a good brother come to his dream? That's right. As long as you hear Salted Fish King singing in his dream, that's the good brother of Salted Fish King. Speaking of which, what kind of elf was chasing my good brother with a long elf sword that was dozens of meters tall? Yee. The big beauty raised her head and blinked her beautiful eyes, as if she felt a familiar feeling on the pink elf chasing behind. Immediately, he shook his head slightly in the direction of the Salted Fish King. Roar. The Salted Fish King was also confused. Although he didn't know why the elf behind was chasing his good brother to kill him, the beautiful girl shook her head since her eyes indicated. Oh, that's okay. Just watch your good brother get chopped down here. But having said that, the power of this pink crescent-like move that streaked across the dark night of the dreamland made the Salted Fish King yearn for greater strength in his heart. The power of the moon seems to be able to tear apart the dimensional space. If he were to face this move when he was in his prime, returning to his original super evolution state. The Salted Fish King immediately blinked. I can't seem to beat it at the moment. The female elf is like a tiger, and the human world will not deceive me. The beauty's eyes were even brighter. The power of the goblin that appeared in the sky above the dreamland and surpassed the power of the king was not comparable to the strength of the gymnasium level. Such a move can cut through the dimensional space. Then let's see who dares not to coexist peacefully. The beauty's soft eyebrows suddenly became high-spirited and a sharp light flashed in her eyes. At this time, the Salted Fish King felt that the situation seemed a bit not good. King level. It is true that the Salted Fish King can now use the first stage of the Angry Red Lotus to transform into the Scarlet Gyarados to surpass the gym level and reach the Heavenly King level, but this is not the most basic form. Yang Yu had mentioned before that if the Salted Fish King did not rely on the angry form of Red Lotus, and did not rely on the original return and super evolution, the strength of the body alone could be upgraded to the King level. Then, once these two states are imposed, even a god will tremble from such power. Roar. Thanks for the reminder, good brother. The Salted Fish King silently gave Darkrai a thumbs up. However, at this moment, Darkrai doesn't want the Salty Fish King's praise at all. What he wants is for the Salty Fish King to sing. The power of the moon split across the sky, and a few pieces of black rags with broken threads seemed to be scattered in the sky. Darkray's substitute. It's a pity that if Cresselia suffered a loss with such a move, she would never suffer it a second time. It was because of this substitute that Darkrai escaped thousands of years ago, but it won't happen now. This time, Cresselia will never let Darkrai escape from her grasp. This cross seal is like a goblin's claws. When Darkrai is about to switch to the dream world, in Yang Yu's dream world, it directly lifts Darkray's collar in an instant. In the dream, Yang Yu was happily training the frog. In reality, he couldn't beat the frog. In the dream, he bloody tortured the frog. Isn't that too much? The little dream monsters and Tijipai who usually enter Yang Yu's dreamland with Yang Yu focus on the sky at this time. Poppy. Tijipai, who was sitting on the ground, suddenly raised his hand high and saw another beautiful elf. Cresselia, god of dreams. Yang Yu never expected that the dream god he saw for the first time in the dream world would actually appear in such a way. Also, Darkrai is a bit too miserable. But it seems that Darkrai looked a little miserable when he first appeared. Get used to it. After getting to know Darkrai for a long time, in fact, this nightmare god was good at everything else, except that he was a bit boring and quite narcissistic at times. Yang Yu didn't know what to say. Now, it seems like Darkrai is a little bad. Cresselia, the god of dreams, looked arrogantly in the air. Her eyes were still quite arrogant. At this time, she extended her feather-like right paw as if she was carrying a seal cage. This is a cross seal formed by the power of the fairy system. Darkrai was finally sealed in this circle of space. Trap your monkey. Regardless of whether it was a monkey or a Lotta, Darkrai finally fell into the French net of Cresselia. The joyful expression on the face of the dream god rippled in Yang Yu's dream, and the power of the dream filled Yang Yu's dream unconsciously. This is the blessing of the dream god. When the ring-shaped wings opened, the pink light quickly spread out like a mysterious halo. Under the power of this dream, everything in Yang Yu's dream world was vaguely and subtly influenced by the dream god. Cresselia's blessing power. Poppy. The little dream demon looked at the magic fairy stick in his hand. This extremely dark ghost-type aura was quietly covered with a light pink color. The power of the ghost made some space for the faint pink color that gradually condensed. The power of the goblin is now embedded in the magic fairy stick. The dream blessing of the god of dreams is condensed with the purest power of the moon in the incredible elven world. In this extremely dark ghost power, it exudes a faint fluorescence. Looking at it at this moment, the shadow of the moon seemed to appear in the little dream demon's magic wand under this little ball of light. There was a little dream monster who learned fairy moves in the fairy gym. At this moment, if he could completely transform the power of the moon into his own power. Gym level, so close. Yang Yu looked at the changes in the magic fairy stick in the little dream demon's hand with great surprise. This pink light group gave the little dream demon pure power of the moon. In this dark stone intertwined with dark black and pink, the coquettish light exudes incredible magical power. The little dream demon discovered that after having the power of the pink moon in the magic fairy stick, it can not only transform into a black devil, but also transform into a beautiful girl, that is, the transformation animation with the dark color lingering all over the body turns into pink. Poppy. Q. 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 This is really, more fun again. Tijapai, who has the characteristics of God's grace and super luck in the elf world, with this little blessing from the dream god, can walk sideways in the dream. Yang Yu, help, 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 weavu. Darkrai was about to shout, but unfortunately, the dream god Cresselia had a few black cloths in his hand from nowhere, and stuffed them directly into Darkray's mouth, and directly opened his mouth. Seal it? Humph, let's see if you can still tell. What made Darkrai even more panicked was these balls of rags. Suddenly the memory was vaguely brought back thousands of years ago. The avatar he used when escaping was actually kept like this by Cresselia for thousands of years. Darkrai wanted to ask Cresselia if these rags had been washed. However, my mouth was blocked and I couldn't speak at all. Goddess of dreams, Cresselia. Yang Yu took a deep breath and said the name of the legendary elf that trapped Darkrai in a cage in the sky. Hello, human trainer. Cresselia is also a god who controls dreams. After entering the dream, she learned the important reason for bringing sweet dreams to these elves who once had constant nightmares in the real world. From the human trainer in front of her, naturally, have great affection. Woo 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 woo. Darkrai wanted to speak in the cage, but unfortunately, every cause must have its effect. This black rag that the nightmare god once used as a substitute was made of good materials. Darkrai now regrets that he had. Why are we looking for such materials as stand-in props for important situations? Wow, this is so uncomfortable. Cresselia was like a fairy holding a lantern in the moon palace, lifting up the cage that sealed Darkrai. I wonder if you can give us some time and space to talk about the past thousands of years. Yang Yu's eyes suddenly became a little strange. Between Darkrai and Cresselia, it seems that there are many unknown secrets. However, this tone is also a bit strange. Well, sorry to bother you. After accepting the blessing of Cresselia, the god of dreams, in a dream, would Yang Yu still stop him? Of course not. Darkrai, take care. Darkrai. The golden light flashed in Yang Yu's mind. Crescent dance, combat form. Blessings from Cresselia, the god of dreams. Pokemon's character master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 920. Crescent dance, combat form. In Yang Yu's memory, Cresselia, the god of dreams, is the only elf who can learn the crescent dance. Crescent dance in the game, like the move Healing Wish, puts oneself into a state of near death, and at the same time causes the elves on the field to recover all their physical strength and eliminate abnormal conditions. In the real world of elves, the effect of Healing Wishes does not have such major side effects. Although it will consume a lot of energy to heal the elves, it will not fall into a dying state. At the same time, the more powerful the elf uses Healing Wishes, the faster it can restore the physical strength and injuries of the injured elf. If the elf uses it with relatively weak strength, the effect will be much weaker. According to historical records in the elven world, people in the Pyramid Country once dreamed of the dream god Cresselia performing the crescent dance. In the end, according to the records left on the stone wall, people imagined dreams through their own fantasies. God Cresselia performs crescent dance. This is only a record in the legend, and it is also a beautiful imagination placed by humans. Therefore, there is no real specific image of the move crescent dance in the elven world. Yang Yu could only guess that this crescent dance in combat state was derived from Cresselia's crescent dance in healing form. So the question is, how to learn this crescent dance? Or, to put it another way, how should Yang Yu teach crescent dance? He won't. Seeing the little dream demon waving the magic fairy stick around in his hand and playing with transformations, Yang Yu felt that something was not quite right for some reason. This crescent moon dance, could she turn into that kind of goddess? Looks like. Dance. No matter what method, at least for now, crescent dance in this fighting form will continue to ask Cresselia, the god of dreams. Having said that, according to the development of this situation, what are Cresselia and Darkrai doing now? Yang Yu coughed lightly and stopped thinking about it. It was not good for my little friend to know too much. An independent dream space. Cresselia gently placed her trophy directly opposite her. The power of the seal completely dissipated from Darkrai. Perhaps from the outside, this cage will make Darkrai extremely uncomfortable, but the power of this fairy type is mastered by Cresselia just enough, and it will neither allow Darkrai to continue to escape, nor will it cause any harm to Darkrai. Darkrai deals massive damage. As for the resentment she had been filled with before, Cresselia had completely vented it out when she killed Darkrai's new substitute. Darkrai, you have lived on Crescent Island for thousands of years. Why do you feel that you have become fatter? Ah! Darkrai was extremely surprised. Can Cresselia see this? He doesn't even feel anything. I remember your appearance thousands of years ago, and I can't see you wrong even in the slightest. Cresselia was surrounded by Darkrai, and her tone gradually became warmer, and she seemed quite proud. Cresselia, you should know that this is not a good thing. The god of dreams and the god of nightmares should have enough respect and distance from each other. Bah! Darkrai, this was an excuse thousands of years ago. Is it still the same excuse now? Anyway, if you let me catch you, you can't escape. Darkrai looked a little aggrieved. He also wants to sneak away, he wants to sneak back to Crescent Island. If he can sneak back to Crescent Island, how could he be discovered and caught by Cresselia? But the problem is, he forgot that Crescent Island is in the elf, the location of reality in the world. By the way, Darkrai, where is your island? Cresselia seemed to have remembered something. When she was chasing Darkrai, she never discovered the existence of Crescent Island, not even the nightmare. The breath is gone, how is this possible? Darkrai. Stop asking, stop asking. Speak quickly, or I'll give you some color to see. Cresselia tried to draw on Darkrai's black robe. In the end, Darkrai couldn't hold back Cresselia and told the truth. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Okay, you can't go back to Crescent Island. Just follow me back to Full Moon Island. How about I make you the deputy island owner of Full Moon Island? Are you greedy or not? Cresselia smiled and leaned back and forth. The ring-shaped wings on the top couldn't help shaking up and down. Darkrai's start is not like that of the down-and-out protagonist who was kidnapped by the owner of an island and taken back to work as a stronghold, oh no, as the lady of the island. Funu Island, I can't go. Although Darkrai was in a weak position in front of Cresselia, he still answered this point very seriously. Cresselia, we are also elves who control the dream world. You should be very clear about what kind of things are behind our dream world. The dream world communicates with the real world. If there is a problem with this barrier, what will happen next? The consequences will be unpredictable. Then you can't avoid me because of this matter. You have been hiding for thousands of years. Do you know how I have spent these thousands of years? I have been looking for you. Cresselia jumped up and down in the air angrily. At this moment, didn't she look like an angry little girl in love in the human world? We must not forget that adults' advice. Darkrai sighed, and he was willing to accept whatever Cresselia did to him during his escape, no matter what moves he used, and how much power he used. Cresselia needed to vent the infinite anger in her heart. The patron saint of the dream world. The god of nightmares, the god of dreams. These two titles are destined to carry more responsibilities. During the thousands of years apart, the dream world is safe and sound. If Darkrai and Cresselia stay together for too long, the balance between nightmares and dreams in the dream world will be broken. Once lost, balance. Darkrai, haven't you noticed that the world outside the dream world no longer looks like what it was thousands of years ago? The elves there seem to have disappeared out of thin air. Cresselia's mood was happy. No, 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 how could it be? Where have they gone? Darkrai became inexplicably nervous. No matter where they go, at least they can no longer affect us being together. Turn the world upside down. In a rather desolate open space, there is a pair of black ghost wings. At this moment, the dark red sharp barbs slightly show the condensation of deep cold. In the darkness, its outline was incredibly ethereal. The Dragon King of the underworld, Giratina. In this desolate open space, you can see several tiny elves that look like paper figures, but they have extremely sharp blades on their bodies that seem to be able to cut off everything. Beside these strange elves, there were many meteorites falling from the sky, but these meteorites had been completely turned into powder under their sword blades. Above the sky, a terrifying giant mouth opened a mysterious passage in the sky, as if it had opened a dimensional space. No one knows what will emerge from it. Giratina took a deep look at these 5 mysterious elves from the alien beast space. These elves were completely different from other alien beasts. Although they came from the alien beast space, they did not have a strong occupation. The desire to reverse the world. These meteorites falling from the sky, if it were not for the action of these alien beast elves, perhaps this suspended island would be turned into thousands of rubbles in the impact of the meteorites. Welcome to the reverse world, this is where you will temporarily live. Next to Giratina, the Dark Dragon King, the figure of Minas clearly revealed her delicate face. At the same time, her tone became slightly gentler. The reverse world welcomes friendly elves, even if they are alien beasts. Jiu. Their names are paper swords.